Welcome to Diary of a Dreamer, where resilience unlocks your potential. I'm Tasha Eisinger, and each week I'll bring you powerful stories and practical insights from my own experiences and inspiring guests. Whether you're facing challenges or chasing dreams, this podcast is your go-to for motivation, building confidence, and practical tips for transforming obstacles into opportunities. Let's dive into today's episode and start turning your dreams into reality. Have you ever heard that little voice and ignored it? You know, the voice that's the word of caution that you shouldn't do something, and it keeps warning you and you keep ignoring it. I learned the value of that little voice the hard way. So I was creating my books, turning it into a business, and I almost quit. Leading up to that, I had this little voice that kept telling me, you're the average of the 5 people you're around the most. And I would ignore it because I thought, well, I read personal development books, I go to church, I have great friends, I have wonderful family members. Like, I can handle being around somebody that is draining me a lot because of all of these other things. It's going to be fine. And every now and then it would say, you're the average of the 5 people you're around the most. And it's like, part of my decision was based on my own arrogance that I could handle these really heavy, big situations and it was going to be fine. And that I was being helpful. And I kept doing what we adults do, which is making some sense of it, even though looking back, it wasn't a wise decision. So my first team with my business, it wasn't going very well. It started okay, and it got to the point that pretty much every area of my life was crumbling before my very eyes. I got to the point that even though I was in my 30s, the weight on my chest felt like I was having a heart attack. I couldn't breathe, and I thought, well, this could be a panic attack. I don't know, because everything was crumbling around me. And I was also feeling the guilt for not listening to that little voice that had been warning me for years. So I ended up doing child's pose and was able to breathe. And I finally was able to cry because I was in action mode, trying to figure everything out and create solutions and keep moving forward. And sometimes you just have to cry. I could have lost my business and my dreams. And then I had this realization, it was probably a month and a half after this, where things were starting to level out a little bit. I was gaining some clarity. I was reflecting and evaluating fervently. I am a big believer in taking responsibility for your own words, choices, actions, and reflecting on where things come from and why, because I don't like making the same mistakes twice, especially when it's such a big mistake that really affected every area of my life. I'm not proud of that time period of my life by any means. Got to this moment where I thought, maybe these books came to me, but I'm not meant to do anything with them. Maybe it's something I'm supposed to pass on to my daughter, and I could encourage her if she wants to turn it into a business and turn them into books. I can do that, and I can encourage her to do it. And then I laughed bitterly because my first book is called The Little Shot Courage. Do you see the irony? I was being a coward. I was looking for the easy way out because I knew that these stories needed to be in other kids' hands. I knew that I wanted adults reading them with children so that the adults were getting some reminders that we all need. I knew that I wanted to turn it into a curriculum. I knew that I wanted to turn it into keynote speeches for adults. Like, I could see some of these bigger dreams that made sense from this storyline, but I was looking for the easy way out and justifying it. There comes a point where you've hit your head against the wall enough times trying to get over the wall, through it, around it, break it down, whatever it is, that it's like, maybe this isn't meant to happen. So that was how I justified it. And when I realized that I was being a coward and the first book is about courage and I laughed about it, I thought, okay, well, I'm going to keep going, but I need to learn from these experiences and build a stronger team. And building a stronger team always starts with yourself. I decided to set healthier boundaries. I actually read the book Boundaries and was like, that's a very valuable book. So I set healthier boundaries. I also set healthier expectations with my team that this is how we function together. This is how we function individually, and to give each other the benefit of the doubt and speak up when it makes sense to speak up. Putting some of those in writing, actually, to make sure that we're all on the same page. I do listen to that little voice so much more. I don't ignore it, especially if it keeps popping up, because it's there to protect us. It's not always right. So I've definitely learned that who you associate with determines your life. I hope that you're able to have some quality people in your life that when you leave them, you feel energized and that you feel good about being you, and that they feel the same way after they've spent some time with you as well. When it comes to your goals and dreams, no matter how big or small they are, I want you to know you cannot do it all alone, but you can with the right team. I'm fortunate to have the team that I do now and all the people that have come on board with this journey, whether it's a small piece of the puzzle or it's something really big that they have done to help out. I've learned with the right team, pretty much anything's possible. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Diary of a Dreamer. I hope you found the stories and tips shared today to be a source of motivation and strength. Remember, every challenge you face is a chance to grow and move closer to your dreams. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with anyone who could use a boost of encouragement.